I'm a very devious person, and there are just so many things that I've done that you could say are morally gray at best. Back when I lived in Georgia, I worked for a smoothie shop for 2.5 years, and it was a failing business. Business was so slow that on weekend shifts, we'd bring in a laptop and watch movies in the back, and we still had enough time to help customers, clean everything, and just do everything we were supposed to do. And when my coworkers told me that she's a movie crier, if the movie gets sad, then, you know, her tears would just flow. Just a friendly piece of advice, don't ever tell me anything like that, because I will use it against you. Tears are my lifeblood. Tears give me strength. So every time we worked together on the weekends, I'd bring in a sad movie like Up or Big Fish, and yeah, I got her to cry every time. I had a batting average of 1,000 of getting my coworker to cry, and I loved it. I loved it. But in my defense, she had never seen these movies before. You could say that I was culturing her, so I'm not the bad guy. So back in the 90s, I went to elementary school in Bellingham, Washington. I know some of you watching this are much younger and don't even remember 9/11. You are young. You are weirdly young. So growing up, recess was serious business. Recess can oftentimes be a battleground. And my group of friends and I were constantly at odds with the grade above us and the grade below us. Yeah, like, we were cool with these other kids. Like, sometimes we played games together, we'd play sports together, but sometimes we had differing interests, and I wanted to protect my interests. One day at recess when I was in 2nd grade, I was not happy with the 3rd graders for some reason, and I wanted to bring them down a peg. Now, I saw the 3rd graders out in the field getting into something they weren't supposed to be doing, so of course, I got the attention of the class tattletale. When you're growing up, every class has a class tattletale. It doesn't even matter who it is. If this person sees even their best friend breaking the rules, they feel compulsed to snitch. So I get the attention of the class tattletale, and I'm like, hey, look what the 3rd graders are doing out over there. And like a robot programmed to snitch, he immediately told on them, thus putting the blood on his hands and not mine. Teachers should really have some kind of witness protection program for these kids, because the 3rd graders were really unhappy with him, and they had no idea that it was really me who got them in trouble. That is some crazy, calculated, Machiavellian crap from an 8-year-old. That is scary. That is really scary. Just all throughout elementary school, I'd have this equally antagonistic relationship with a bunch of people where we gave each other a lot of crap, but we're pretty much friends, but we would never admit that we're friends. When I was in 6th grade, I had 2 girls from my class living on my street, and yeah, definitely had an equally antagonistic relationship with them. And on one particular day, I was playing with the neighborhood kids. We were having a water balloon fight when approached the 2 girls from my class. One girl was holding a baby, they were throwing sass at me, and of course, I was throwing sass right back. Probably a little better sass. And the whole time we were talking, I had this water balloon in my hand, and I threatened to throw it at them. The 2 girls were like, we have a baby, you're bluffing, there's no way you're gonna throw that at us. At this point, I'm feeling challenged. I cannot back down, so I do a brief calculation in my head. I don't know who the baby belongs to, and I don't care. And it's wrong to hit the baby with the water balloon. I draw the line there. But if I aim below where the baby is being held, and the baby happens to get wet, it doesn't matter, it's just water. Now, what happens next is so amazing that I remember it in slow motion. Now I chuck the water balloon as hard as I can, and it's flying through the air, and it makes contact with the girl holding the baby. It hits her square on the thigh. The balloon does not explode on impact, but it bounces off, hits her friend on the stomach, and explodes, getting her wet. I could not believe it. That is one of the best things I ever witnessed. After that, I just ran around them in circles and howled with laughter. I'm very, very pleased with myself, and they are in disbelief that I threw a water balloon at a baby. Now take this as a lesson. You can't beat thatzak, even when you use a baby as leverage. You just can't do it, so don't even try. And I have done so many things like this throughout my entire life that I cannot remember them off the top of my head. Now I'm gonna keep making videos like this as I remember these stories, because I have an audience of enablers. Now if you would like to see the last video I made like this, it's called 3 Reasons Why I'm a Bad Person, link in the description. And then once you finish that video, then just get off the internet and do something productive. Think about all the successful people who didn't waste time on the internet. And then think about yourself. Whoa, that's a scary thought.